Good morning, beloveds. I think. It's being all glitchy and weird. Okay. Yep. So the sun came out today. I'm very excited about that. The humidity is still really high because my windows are like literally weeping. Thankfully, it's on the outside, not on the inside. But yeah. But sun came out. And then now it's going to get hot. But that's okay. It's still July, so it's supposed to be hot. I just enjoyed the not so hot weather. All right, so there's a possibility that we could finish this up today. Chapter 24, the general summary. So let's get on this. All right. If we are swayed by the opinions of others or by the belief that we are not yet ready to help others, then we are falling under the illusion that we are using an isolated power and do not understand that which really heals is the knowledge that the spiritual person is already complete and perfect. We are not the one that does the healing. The practitioner knows that the spiritual person needs no healing, but that this has not yet become revealed to the mind. What the healer does is to mentally uncover and reveal the truth of being, which is that God is in and through every person, and that this indwelling presence is already perfect. We separate the belief from the believer and reveal that which needs no healing. Thought is sifted, and that which does not belong to the real person must be discarded. Whatever is of a discordant nature does not belong to the truth of our being. We really heal the thought. And this last line apparently was important enough for me to highlight. The spirit of people needs no healing, for the spirit of people is God. Yeah, that's kind of important. All right. Ignorance stays with us until the day of enlightenment, until our vision towards the spirit broadens and casts out the image of a no longer useful littleness. What we now experience, we may cease experiencing it if we have the will and the imagination to set our vision in an opposite direction and hold it there. It is the office of the imagination to set the vision. The will should hold it in place until the creative genius of the inner life transforms the image of limitation and transmutes it into liberty under law. In other words, hold on until it can be delivered. With right glance and with right speech, people superintendeth the animate and the inanimate. That is a quote. I don't know where from. Rightly said the ancient whose knowledge of the unseen principle gave him the power over his objective world. He says ancient. Ancient who? Ernest. Doesn't cite his sources. But this is more than a saying. It is a truth and should become part of our everyday practice. That is, we should daily practice correct thinking. We should decide what we wish to have happen in our lives. We should be sure that it implies no hurt to anyone, and that we should be certain that we now have this desire, whatever it may be. In other words, when you get up in the morning, set your intention for the day. What kind of day do you want to have? I want to have a productive day. I want to have a happy day. I want to have a joyful day. I want to have whatever it is. And I can have all of those. I can have a joyful, happy, productive day. I can have all of those. So set your intention and then hold on to it. Okay, moving on. The mystic is one who intuitively perceives truth and who, without conscious mental process, arrives at spiritual realization. The mystics include the great prophets, the inspired writers, the illumined souls of all ages. What we have received from them constitutes the greatest intellectual and spiritual heritage of the ages. He includes the poets in those, so Rumi, Hafiz, Khalil Gibran, Emerson, Thoreau, Browning. Those are just a few of the ones that he quotes. All of those are considered mystics too. So, it's like there are far more mystics on this, and he includes Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad in those mystics. Okay. All of the mystics have recognized the absolute unity of God and people. Within the infinite mind, each individual exists not as a separated, but as a separate and distinct entity. We are a point in universal consciousness, which is God. We are not separated from life. Neither is it separated from us, but we are separate entities in it, individualized centers of the God consciousness. He said it better when he said the multiplicity in the unity. Okay, not uniformity, unity. He's back to the mystics again. So Teresa of Avalon is a mystic. Helen Wheeler Wilcox is a mystic. I would count Emma Curtis Hopkins in the mystics. Maybe Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Okay. Although they were contemporary to Ernest. So, I would consider Ernest a mystic. There, I said it. The mystics have not denied the reality of individuality. They have all agreed that the soul is on the pathway of experience of self-discovery, on the way to the spirit's house. They have told us of the marvelous relationship which exists between God and people, of a close union which cannot be broken. Since we see that personality is what one does with their individuality, we should turn within, as have all the great mystics who have blessed the world with their presence. We should turn within and find God. We should have a sense of a real presence when we do turn toward the one and only presence in the entire universe. Ooh, okay, he's going to shout at us in the next paragraph. It's like literally, it's all in caps. And that's not what I underlined, though. I underlined the sentence after the all in caps. So let's see. One of the most illuminating truths which mysticism has revealed is that there is no ultimate reality to evil. No devil, no damnation outside of one's state of thought. No punishment outside of that self-inflicted through ignorance. And no salvation outside of conscious cooperation with the infinite. Consequently, they have taught that the answer to every problem is in people's own consciousness. So what I thought was important was the no salvation, and what he was shouting was no devil, no damnation. Everybody to their own, right? All right. It is one thing to say that God is unfolding through its idea of itself, but quite another to say that it is gradually becoming conscious of itself. An unfolding God implies a forever outpouring spirit in a forever manifesting deity. Evolution is the time and the process through which an idea unfolds to a higher state of manifestation, and since ideas are divine realities, evolution will go on forever. But evolution is an effect of intelligence and not its cause. Evolution follows involution. All right. Whew. All right, Ernest. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, we're going to finish. We got two full pages left. All emerge from the one whose being is ever present and whose life, robed in numberless form, is manifest throughout all creation. Creation is a logical result of the outpush of life into self-expression. It is the coming forth of spirit into manifestation. The one encompasses and flows through all, spilling itself into numberless forms and personalities. These forms and personalities, propelled by the cosmic urge which brings them into being, have within themselves an impulse planted by the divine, and since the divine is limitless and perfect, it must and ultimately will bring all creation into a state of perfect manifestation. Ooh. Almost dropped the book. Okay. Again, sometimes you just have to read the paragraph and move on. By cosmic consciousness, we mean one's consciousness of its unity with the whole. This is not a mystery. However, the self-knowingness of God brought through people. Oh, yeah. This is not a mystery, however, but the self-knowingness of God brought through people. Okay. Illumination will come as people more and more realize their unity with the whole, and as they constantly endeavor to let the truth operate through them. Okay. The great mystics, like Jesus, have taught that we have okay, let me try it again. The great mystics, like Jesus, see, there should be a comma there. The great mystics, comma, like Jesus, comma, have taught that as we consciously enter into the one enters into and becomes us. While sensing this unity, they have also sensed the individualization of being and the individuality of people as a divine reality. Okay? Individualization, not separation, individualization. In flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality. They have been convinced of immortality now, of God as personal to the individual, of inevitable overcoming of all evil by good. In such a degree as we become conscious of God, evil disappears. Because it is not an entity in and of itself, it is not a power in and of itself, it is a misuse. And when we know who we are, we do better. Okay. A person is universal on the subjective side of life, and in this way is connected with the subjectivity of all with whom they are in harmonious vibration. Mental suggestion operates through the subjective mind, and a silent influence is always going on through this avenue in the form of race suggestion. A silent communication takes place at all times between friends on the subjective side of life when it comes to the surface. When one receives a clear impression of thought without the use of words, it is called mental telepathy. Oh, I'm a little surprised that's made it into the conclusion, the general summary. Telepathy, which is the act of reading subjective thought, takes place through the medium of the universal subjectivity. In order to mentally receive a message and bring it to the surface, one must be in tune with the vibrations of that message. Since the whole field of subjectivity is universal, it follows that everything which has ever been thought, said, or done is retained in the race thought. And since this field is a unity, all of the vibrations are ever present and may be contacted at the point of anyone's mentality. In their objective state, people are separate and distinct, but in the subjective side of life, they are universal. Okay, so basically, consciously, you are a separate individual. But when you get below the surface into the subconscious, we all share the same subconscious. Subjectivity. Okay, we are conscious of our separation, but subjectively, we are our unity. Okay, 2 paragraphs left, and then we get the final conclusion. Each maintains a stream of consciousness in the one mind, and anyone contacting this stream may objectify it. Because of the universality of the medium, the individual stream of consciousness is always omnipresent, whether the one from whom it emanated be in the flesh or out of it. Time and space are unknown in mind. The past and the present are one. Everyone who has ever lived has left behind a mental picture of themselves. These pictures are often seen when one is in a subjective state. This does not mean that we really see the person. What we see generally is the picture. In other words, no one's ever really gone. They leave their impression all over the subjective mind. All right. Well, you look super comfortable. I wish I could lay like that. Okay, last paragraph before the final conclusion. The mystical conception of Christ is an idea of the universality of childship, embodied in any individual who recognizes this childship. We comprehend the infinite only to the degree that it expresses itself through us, becoming to us that which we believe it to be. We cannot come unto the Spirit which is in heaven except through our own spiritual nature. As the human gives way to the divine in a person, they become the Christ. There is one Spirit of all. This one Spirit, conceiving through itself, gives birth to all the divine ideas. The sum total of all these ideas constitutes the mystic Christ. This profound truth Jesus discovered and taught, that whatever is true of people, of the reality of their nature, is the divine presence within them. The answer to every question is within people, because people are within spirit. And the spirit is an indivisible whole. Jesus stands alone as a person who knew himself and realized his relationship to the perfect whole. As the external Jesus gave way to the divine, the human took on the Christ spirit and became the voice of God to humanity. The Christ is always triumphant, is ever a victor, is never defeated, needs no champion. And that's how he ends this. Now, we have the final conclusion. All right, Ernest, what's your final conclusion? In conclusion, what the world needs is spiritual conviction, followed by spiritual experience. I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have them repeat all of the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. But the practice of truth is personal to each, and in the long run, no one can live our life for us. To each is given what they need, and the gifts of heaven come alike to all. How shall we use these gifts is all that matters. To hold one's thoughts steadfastly to the constructive, to that which endures, and to the truth may not be easy in a rapidly changing world, but to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. The essence of spiritual mind healing and of all true religious philosophy is an inner realization of the presence of perfection within and around about. It is the hope of heaven, the voice of God proclaiming, I am that which thou art that which I am. And that was Ernest's final conclusion. No, it's not. He continued to write for another 40, 50 years. I think he died in 1970. So if this was written in 1927, this was not his final conclusion. This was, his conclusion to his textbook, but not the final conclusion. He continued to refine his ideas, and he is an excellent speaker. I guess I've read enough now, because we don't always suggest people start with the Science of Mind text, because it's, he's not the best writer. Most of the really good books are actually transcriptions of talks that he gave. If somebody wants to start with Ernest Holmes, I always suggest start with this thing called You. It's almost always in any Science of Mind minister's top 5 books. So that's where we would suggest you start. But, I've actually really enjoyed this. Now you can see we still have this much to go. Part 5 is teachings from the New Testament. So we'll see what that looks like. I don't know what this is going to look like, so we're gonna get into it and see how that goes. But what I am going to do is wrap this up so that I can get on to work. It's been a bit of a journey, and it only took 3 months? May, June, July. 3 months to get through the bulk of the Science of Mind, and now we're going to get into some of his other stuff. So we'll go from there. All right, beloveds. It's been a ride. I hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as I have. The brief housekeeping. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. One easy way that you can support the center is to go and engage with our social media. Go like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, do all that kind of stuff. We would appreciate it. It bumps us in the algorithms, and we think we have something that is light and bright and helpful. That is our goal. We would like to help people live their best lives. So there's that. And now, if you want more information about the center, there's 2 ways to do that. The website is creativelife.org, or you can get on the Constant Contact, which is an email. Email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the Constant Contact. You get 1 email a week, and the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want, or the person that can help you get it. All right, beloveds. Whew. All right. Deep breath. And I'm going to remind you, encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. An amazing day. A let's get this week started off right. A hey, the sun is back out day. Go get some sun on your face day. A enjoy it while we've got it. Prepare for the cooler weather, warmer weather. Drink plenty of water day. A cuddle with your fur babies day. A call a good friend day. A whatever it is that you need to do day. A take a break day. A take a nap day. A make your plans day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right, beloveds? Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the person the divine knows you to be is good. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Whew. It's been a ride. Take care of yourself. Oh, wait, hang on. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.